We get in our cars every single day and we think we know them inside and out. But what if I told you the biggest revolution happening in your car right now isn't under the hood? It's on the screen in front of you and in the very materials you're sitting on. We're going to peel back the layers and break down the hidden science and design that goes into the modern car.
I mean, for more than 100 years, the whole story of the car was pretty simple, right? It was all about getting from point A to point B faster. From the earliest automobiles to those legendary muscle cars, the entire game was about pure performance. It was a constant race for more horsepower, quicker acceleration, and just shaving a few more seconds off your trip.
Well, that era, it's pretty much over. Today, the focus has done a complete 180. It's not just about the destination anymore. The new frontier, the thing that the entire industry is obsessed with, is the experience you have along the way.
And that whole massive, years-long process, it's now driven by a totally new philosophy. This shift changes absolutely everything. We've moved way beyond seeing cars as just tools. Now they're becoming something much, much more personal, a direct expression of our lifestyle, of our identity.
Tata Motors really hits the nail on the head here when they say a car is a medium to portray a chosen lifestyle. Just think about that for a second. It's not just a machine to get you to your job anymore. It's a statement about what you value, how you see yourself, and the image you want to project to the world.
All right, so if the car is all about the experience, where does that journey really start for us? Well, for pretty much everyone now, it's not when you turn the key, it's when you touch the screen.
I mean, just think about your own routine. Before you even put the car in drive, you're probably plugging in your phone, punching in a destination, or picking out a playlist. This screen, this infotainment system, has become the car's central nervous system. It's the main way we actually connect with the incredible machine that's all around us.
But man, designing these screens is a huge challenge. It's this constant, tricky balancing act. On one hand, the interface has to be super simple and accessible, with clear feedback so you know your touch registered and you're not fumbling around. But on the other hand, and this is the absolute #1 priority, it has to be designed for safety, making sure every single element keeps driver distraction to a bare minimum. And this puts car makers in a really tough spot, They're not just up against other car companies anymore. They're competing with the super powerful, super intuitive devices we all carry in our pockets. As Deloitte points out, if the car's built-in map system isn't as good as Google Maps on your phone, well, you're just going to use your phone. This is forcing automakers to think like tech companies, to constantly chase a better user experience. It's a massive shift in their identity, from just being metal benders to becoming software developers.
Okay, now let's take this whole experience idea and push it to its absolute limit. What happens when you don't even have to drive the car at all?
And this is where things start to feel like they're straight out of a sci-fi movie. Autonomous driving is forcing a complete and total reinvention of the car's interior. I mean, if you don't have to drive, what do you do with all that time? Do you work, relax, watch a movie?
I absolutely love this definition I saw from Deloitte. A smartphone with variable space dimension. It perfectly captures what a car is becoming. It's not just a car anymore. It's a mobile third space, like your home or your office, but on wheels. It's a connected, reconfigurable room that just happens to be taking you somewhere.
But let's be real, we're not quite there yet. There are a couple of major hurdles in the way. First, the tech and the regulations for fully autonomous cars still have a long, long way to go. And second, car makers have to build a whole ecosystem of apps and services that you'd actually want to use, and then figure out the business models to make it all work.
So the whole in-car experience is one huge piece of the puzzle, but what about the car itself? The actual physical materials it's made from are also going through their own quiet revolution, and it's all being driven by sustainability.
Yeah, from the plastics you touch on the trim to the fibers hidden in the panels, sustainability is a massive focus now. Car makers are using everything from recycled plastics to natural fibers like canaf, which is amazingly lightweight and also biodegradable. They're even developing vegan leather alternatives and special composites to help reduce long-term waste.
And look, this isn't just some far-off concept. The big players are already doing it. BMW is using recycled plastics in its luggage compartments. Tesla pretty much pioneered vegan leather. And Ford even won an award for the sustainable design of the Mustang Mach-E's frunk. That front trunk where the engine used to be.
Now, of course, making this switch isn't exactly a walk in the park. These new materials can be more expensive, their supply chains are a lot more complex, and most importantly, they still have to meet incredibly strict safety standards. No compromises there. Okay, so we've talked about the body.
let's move to what powers it. For today's EVs, the absolute heart of the machine is the battery. But it's not just the battery cells that matter, it's how you keep them happy. And that brings us to a really critical piece of tech, the Battery Thermal Management System, or BTMS for short. This system is kind of the unsung hero of every single EV. Its one and only job is to keep the battery pack at the absolute perfect temperature. Why? To make sure it performs well, lasts a long time, and, most importantly, operates safely.
Whoa. Okay, so this diagram looks super complicated, right? All these pumps and radiators and valves, but don't get lost in the weeds. Its main job is actually really simple. It's all about keeping the battery from getting too hot or too cold. Just perfectly comfortable.
Honestly, the best way to think about a BTMS is to just picture the thermostat in your house. It's that simple. It has a set temperature range it wants to stay inside. If the battery gets too cold, a little heater kicks in. If it gets too hot, a cooling system activates. It's just constantly working in the background to keep that battery in its happy place, its ideal operating range.
Okay, so if this whole new experience is the goal, how in the world do you even start to build something like that? Well, it all happens through this massive, multi-year symphony of design and engineering that's way more complex than most of us ever imagine.
You know, we see a shiny new car in a showroom and we probably think, oh, they designed this last year. But the reality is, it's not even close. A standard, everyday car takes 3 to 5 years to get from a basic sketch to that showroom floor. And if you're talking about a truly groundbreaking vehicle, that timeline can easily stretch to a decade, or even more.
And that whole journey, it's this incredibly choreographed dance. It starts off as pure art, with designers just sketching out countless ideas. Then, the best of those concepts get brought to life, first as digital 3D models, and then as actual physical clay sculptures so they can perfect every curve. It's only then that it moves into the world of hard science, where engineers build and just relentlessly test full-scale prototypes. Finally, after years of tweaking and refining, the design is perfected for the production line, where every single detail is absolutely scrutinized.
So all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question for the future, doesn't it? We've seen how cars are transforming from these purely mechanical machines into incredibly sophisticated connected computers on wheels. So who are going to be the true architects of our future driving experience? Will it be the traditional auto designers, the ones who shape the physical form and feel? Or will it be the software engineers, the people who design the car's digital heart and its brain? Something to think about next time you get in your car.